Alright, so in our last class, we were discussing about the 6 Goswamis. That until and unless we will not be uh, desireless, no material desires at all, until and unless we will not have such, nature that we don't have any desires, then we can't actually give full mercy. Very amazing point related to this only. Today, Prabhuji was telling in Japa, morning Japa, that how fortunate are we? How? That we are surrounded with such devotees who don't want anything for anyone, who has no desire to exploit any other devotee. Is it not? We don't have any desire to exploit each other or the stuff like that. But you see, in material world, if we talk about material world, then everyone is just, they just want, they approach you because they want to suck you. Suck means they want to exploit you actually. Is it not? You can see everyone who is around you materialistic in this materialistic world, they always want to have something from you. They are always seeking something. And isn't this the intelligence of an animal? Animal is also always like this. He always want to get something. He don't want to give anything. He can't give anything. So yeah, until and unless we are desireless, we can't be merciful on other people. Because if we will have lots of desire in our hearts, then we will tend to exploit other people so that our desires may get fulfilled. But on the other hand, if we don't want anything from this world, we are satisfied as we are serving Krishna, then we can actually be merciful on other people. We can be compassionate to other people. One more amazing point I read this morning. When Krishna likes you, Krishna will give you everything. Everything. But when Krishna loves you, Krishna will take everything from you. Krishna will take everything from you. And this is so true. Is it not? And only a devotee who is practicing his devotional services nicely, he can only understand this thing. Otherwise, he will be, he will have anxiety in his mind that I am serving Krishna, but then also Krishna is not giving me anything. What is this? But this was amazing line that when Krishna loves you, Krishna will take everything from you. Krishna will take even you to him. So we should pray like this that yes, Krishna, you take everything from me. Nothing is mine. And you take me also to you. This is all I want. And this is selflessness only. That we don't want nothing. We don't want anything. We just want you, my Lord. You just take me. So it was very amazing point. With similar Vaishnava compassion, Parikshit Maharaj told 𝗃𝗍𝗶 Goswami, you have just described the different types of hellish life. Now, tell me how those who are suffering can be delivered. Can be delivered. Kindly explain this to me. Adhuneha mahabhaga yatheva narakan naraha nanograyatanan neyatanme. The word naraha refers to the human beings. Nar, naraha, human beings, or those who are fallen. Narakan naraha nanograyatanan neyatan me. How can they be delivered from their fierce miseries and horrible pains? This is typical of a Vaishnava heart. Sometimes you will see, like, this is obvious that any person, if he is suffering from anything, then he himself cannot understand that misery, how miserable his life has become just because of that suffering. He himself cannot understand this thing, although he is experiencing the sufferings. Only a great man who is, a healthy man, who is in good condition, then of that man who is suffering, can really understand after seeing his sufferings, that how miserable his life is. Just like if you will see a madman roaming on the road. Today only, when I went for a walk to take flowers for Krishna, so I was coming back and I saw one lady. She just basically, there was a circle at mid, and there were so many plants. Flowers were there also. So I was thinking that one day I will take these flowers. So I was thinking that how one can go inside that circle. So I was kind of hesitating to go there, that, oh, what if someone will scold me? So I was kind of hesitating to go inside that circle. But today I saw one lady, she she jumped in that circle, and she she was actually searching for rags, the garbage or the empty disposals and all. She was searching for that. So this is just an example. Just keeping this example in your mind. Now, if you will see that particular person, he is not actually behaving in his original condition. Human form of life, we have not given, God has not given us this human form of life to search for these rags and garbage. Krishna has given us this human form of life so that we may search for him. Search for the uh, like all the processes and whatever it takes, so that we may get Krishna. Because in this human form of life only we can actually get him. So are you understanding that when you will see any person who is actually suffering, just like that, she will be called as a mad lady only. She was searching for all those disposals and all. So now she might not be understanding that she is actually suffering. She is actually uh, wasting her human form of life. But any person who is in a good condition, after seeing her condition, he can actually understand that how miserable his or her life is. So this is what Parikshit Maharaj is asking from 𝗃𝗵𝗵 Goswami, that how can they be delivered from their fierce miseries and horrible pains? Pain doesn't mean injuries or whatever we experience in our to this material body. Pains means that we are actually suffering in this world. We are again and again, roaming and wandering to that circle of birth and death. And real pain is that we are not understanding that we are the fragmental part of the great personality Krishna, Supreme Personality Krishna. Pain is that we would have actually been there with him and relishing all the things with him. This is the real pain. But until and unless any person he will not understand his relationship with Krishna, how will he be able to work on it? This is what horrible pain means. And of course, pains of the body that we experience, just like yesterday only, when I was about to offer food to Krishna, suddenly I don't know what happened to my eye. Something weird happened. Maybe any mosquito was there who flew to my eye, and it was totally troubling me. I was not able to see from my one eye, and I was totally disturbed. I was just rubbing my eye so that I can get rid of that. But it was not happening. So later I decided that I will take some rest. I will give some rest to my eyes. Maybe then I may get healed. But then also I was not like, it was still troubling me. So later I went to Krishna. Krishna, please heal my eye. I was not even able to discuss afternoon class because of this trouble. What is this, Krishna? Then I chanted few rounds for Krishna, and one devotee was also there. She also told me that Mataji, I'm chanting for you so that you may be healed. How loving and caring devotees are. So after some time, I was healed. Like everything was okay. So yes, what I was experiencing this thing that even a little pain, little, disturbance, which I experienced yesterday, that can actually bewilder us. We will not be able to concentrate on anything. So same way we have been suffering from eternal time in this world. And then also people don't understand this. They just take those things as a part of their lives, that yeah, this is the part of life and we can't get rid of that. But this is really not this is actually not reality. So yeah, this is what Parikshit Maharaj is asking. That is typical of a Vaishnava heart. Maharaj Parikshit also said, somehow or other they have fallen down to a hellish life. Now, hellish life doesn't mean that hell, the planet. Any person who is in this material world, he is actually bearing hellish life only, because he is actually away from his supreme father, Krishna. Krishna, the most, the most, the all attractive supreme personality. He is always in blissful state, and we are not aware of these things, and we are only suffering here in this world. But that does not mean that they should remain in that condition. There must be some means by which they can be delivered. So kindly explain those means to me. Then 𝗃𝗍𝗵 Goswami replied. So now here comes this shloka. We will try to recite this. Okay. नाचेदिहेवापचित्. No, let me just remember. It's 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺𝗺 shloka. नाचेदिहेवापचितिं यथांसः. No, no, it's not like this also. Mm, I often forget the tune of this. Mm. नाचेदिहेवापचितिं यथा न हंसः कृतस् कृतस्य कुर्यान्मन उक्तपाणिभिः ध्रुवं सवे प्रेत्य नरकानुपेति ये कीर्तिता मे भवत्स्ति गम भवत्स्ति मयातनः नाचेदिहेव क्वचितिं यथाहंसः कृतस्य कुर्यान्मन उक्तपाणिभिः ध्रुवं सवे प्रेत्य नरकानुपेति ये कीर्तिता मे भवतस्ति गमया tanaha. Anyways, we will move forward. Yes. I have already described various hellish conditions typical of a severe and painful life. The point is that one has to counteract such a life. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.7. How can this be done? There are various ways in which sinful activities can be committed. One is by the mind. If a person thinks of committing some sinful activity and thus makes a plan, I shall kill that man. That is also considered to be sinful. So you will see, even whatever bad things we think in our mind, that is also considered as sinful activity. But good thing is that in Kali Yuga, if you are thinking in your mind, and if you have not put those in your actions, those thoughts in your actions, then you will be safe. Like, then those thoughts will not be considered as sinful activities in Kali Yuga. But we should always save ourselves from such thoughts. Why? Because whatever we think in our mind, that definitely comes in our actions also. This happens. So we should be very, very much careful about this thing, that we do not even think about all such sinful activities. Just like if any person is thinking that I will rob his house. So now, if he is making such plans in his mind, then definitely, if he is making such plans, he is thinking in his mind. So those thoughts will definitely come in his actions also. This was just an example. So, same way, if we are keeping any envy in our mind, in our heart for someone, that oh, that person is so bad, he has said wrong words to me, may he he gets destroyed, or may his business gets destroyed. So even if we are thinking all these things in our minds, then also it's not good. And you will see now, such thoughts actually contaminates our heart, our minds. It do contaminates our hearts and minds. So we should save ourselves from such thoughts. And when Prabhuji discussed about law of attraction, so in that also Prabhuji was saying this. Basically, he told about speaking, that whatever you speak from your mouth, that becomes reality, because that enters to your subconscious mind. So better to save ourselves from all these things. Okay. When the mind is thinking, feeling, and willing, then there is action. In certain areas of the United States, a dog owner is responsible according to law if his dog barks at someone passing on the road. Oh, so if any dog, if he barks at someone who is passing on the road, then his owner will be punished for that. That why you have not, you know, make learned etiquettes to your dog. He's not behaving properly. So now you will be punished. Although the dog simply barks, the owner is held responsible. The dog is not responsible because it is an animal, but because the owner of the animal has made the dog his best friend, he is responsible by law. I was hearing a lecture of His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. So Maharaj was telling about these things only, about dog. That person, he assumes himself owner of that dog, that he is owning that dog. But actually the dog is owning that owner. Who is assuming that he is owner? Today also, basically whatever Maharaj was telling, I was actually seeing that. I was watching that when I was coming back to home today morning after walk. There was one man who was not holding. Basically, he had a dog, and Maharaj was telling that if any dog is, he's wanting to poop out. So now that owner, that man, he will have to stop for that dog. So that dog is actually ordering that man that you are my servant. You please stop here. I will be pooping out and you will have to wait for me. Isn't this just foolishness? And I was really watching this thing today on the road. One man was with his dog and he was actually doing this. And people do this. They often take their dogs on morning walk. That dog is actually owning that particular man who is assuming himself owner of that dog. Anyways, we were discussing this point that the dog is not responsible because he is an animal, but because the owner of the animal has made the dog his best friend, he is responsible by law. Similarly, just as the barking of a dog may be considered unlawful, offensive speech may also be considered sinful. For it is just like barking. Very heavy statement. Just keep this point. This is takeaway point today. This is the takeaway point of the class today. Next time, when you like, I know this happens unconsciously, but next time when any person is trying to shout on any other person, he is actually barking like a dog. And human form of life is actually not for this thing. I'm really able to relate with all these things these days. We have been hearing these things from so long that everyone wants love. All these shouting things, exploiting things. These people are suffering already in this material world. But if they get special affection from devotees, then they will definitely accept this path of Krishna consciousness. I often think this thing in my mind, and I'm really able to relate with this these days. Just like that Western Prabhuji, I just decided this thing in my mind only, that I will not be pushing him. I will go very slow. I'll try to go very, very slow with him. I will not push him. So even though he was regretting to follow this path of Krishna consciousness, but because he sensed some compassion, some affection from me, he sensed that, yeah, she's trying to help me selflessly. That's why he was able to accept this path. And you know what he told me yesterday? He told me that now I embraced Krishna. And I was, I was in ecstasy. Wow. But then later, I thought, basically, this thought came in my mind that it's not that person, that Prabhuji, who has embraced Krishna. It's Krishna who has actually embraced him. Any person who is chanting Hare Krishna, or if he's accepting this path, he is the most pious person. Most pious person. He did lots of piety in his, uh, you know, previous births. So this was really amazing. I was really able to relate with this. That it's Krishna who embraced him. And why? Because he was sensing compassion. So just see now, if devotees who are serving Krishna, if their hearts is filled with so much of compassion, with so much of affection for other beings, then what to say about Krishna? He is the most compassionate, most caring, most loving uh, person of this whole universe. And we can't even assume that how much Krishna loves us. So all these qualities of a devotee attracts other people very much. So just try to be very, very soft with people. Don't shout on them. Just be conscious that whatever they did, which has made me aggressive, which is making me aggressive, he has not done this intentionally. His intention is not to make me angry or to make me furious. He's doing it unconsciously. He's also not aware of that. Just give them love. Always remember this thing. People want love. They have been suffering. They have been already experiencing all these, deceivingness, exploiting things, all these things. They have already been suffering. They have already been experiencing all these things in this material world. But if they are getting unconditional, selfless affection, compassion from devotees, then they will definitely walk on this path. The point is that sinful activities can be committed in so many ways. One may think of them, or one may speak sinfully, or one may actually commit a sin. In any case, they are all considered sinful activities. 𝗰𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗲𝗃 One has to suffer punishment for such activities. No one will be saved for his deeds. Every deed of ours is being recorded. So we should never think like this, oh, no one is watching, let's do. No one is watching. Even if we are alone in the room, then also we should not think, oh, no one is watching, we will consume unoffered food. Little unoffered food. No one is watching. Krishna's photograph is also not there. I know devotees don't do like that. But yeah, I'm just explaining this with an example. All right. Thank you so much for joining. We will stop here now. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.